Yes. Today we are doing unit number 4, the poem Amanda. Okay, children, many times it happens that parents try to control you and regulate you. They are trying to be keeping you always in a kind of discipline. Obviously, when a child does something very good in his life, it is always and always that everyone says that it was the contribution made by the parents or the sacrifices made by the parents because of which the child stands so high in the society. But here in this poem, there is a little girl, Amanda, who is really sad because of the constant nagging by her parents. Okay, there is a difference between someone expecting you to be disciplined, someone trying to behave you in a well-mannered way, which every parent obviously wants, that the child should be a good, well-mannered child. But when this habit of parents trying to correct you turns to be constant nagging. Nagging means finding faults in everything you do. ऐसे नहीं करना, ऐसे नहीं करना, इसको हाथ नहीं लगाओ, उसको नहीं खाना, ये नहीं पीना, ये टच नहीं करना, उधर नहीं जाना. So that constant finding faults by the parents and the children, we call it as nagging. Here, this little girl is so constantly nagged by her parents that she feels irritated to that extent, that for once, what does she say? That she wishes to be an orphan. Now, this could be the worst thought a child could ever have in his or her mind. Just imagine a child expecting or waiting that when would I be orphan? And this thought came to the mind of the little girl only and only because of the restrictions imposed by her parents on her. While putting those restrictions, the parents also need to keep it in mind that they are not curtailing the freedom or the space being provided to the child. Every child needs freedom. So parents have to keep this in mind, that they need to give space to the child. A child needs proper growth, and growth can be given only when you are giving the child the freedom to express the thoughts in a liberal way. Okay. When you are trying to just stop the child from everything, obviously the child would feel as if the child has been trapped. And उस trap से उसको बाहर निकलना है. Amanda also feels the same way. And just because she doesn't like that bitter reality of that world, wherein the parents keep scolding her. So she loves to be in an imaginary world, a dream world. And she craves for that freedom which she is not granted in her real life. Did you understand? So she desires or she craves for that freedom which she is not getting in the real world, because in the real world, in that bitter reality of the world, she is just controlled and nagged and scolded every time. Okay, I'm beginning with the poem. The theme you may have understood by now. Fine. Amanda. Every child feels that he or she is controlled and instructed not to do one thing or the other. Obviously, parents are there to correct you. They have to correct you. It is their duty to stop you from doing wrong things. So they would control you for that. You too may feel at times that your freedom is curtailed. Curtailed means controlled or stopped. आपको भी ऐसे कई बार लगता होगा, मम्मी ऐसे बोलती है, पापा ऐसे बोलते हैं, ये नहीं करना, वो नहीं करना. It is their duty because they feel that probably you being small, you don't know certain things and they would direct you for those things. So as a parent, they have to do it. Write down some of the things which you wish to do, but your parents and elders do not allow you to do. Now, don't say that in the present pandemic you wish to roam around freely and come to the school. Yes, obviously, they wouldn't allow you to do this in the present context. They know certain things better than you. They have experience, so they can guide you in that way. But here we are talking about the extreme of a certain thing, when parents cross their limits of controlling the child. Okay? So here, there are certain things which elders do not allow you to do. But at times when you are trying to do something and they are scolding and scolding and scolding you, obviously you would feel frustrated and irritated by that constant habit of nagging. So here again is the story of this girl, Amanda. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Hunch your shoulders means don't bend and walk. Stand erect, straight, and then walk. So this is something which her mother is expecting to do. Don't bite your nails. Don't hunch your shoulders. Stop that slouching. Slouching is the habit of laziness. So stop that slouching. Sit up straight, Amanda. So here the word Amanda after that has an exclamation mark. That basically tells the irritation and the frustration of the parent being let out on the child. Okay? So irritation or the frustration of the parent being let out on the child. So sometimes parents go beyond the limit in giving directions to the child. And when these directions come one after the another, एक के बाद एक, ये नहीं करना, ये नहीं करना, ये नहीं करना, ये नहीं करना. So obviously those directions leave their importance. They don't hold that importance. One thing directed in one day is acceptable. Now throughout the day, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Those directions of the parents leave their importance. They hold no importance for the child, because then the child starts thinking that mama is in the habit of speaking continuously. For the whole day she speaks the same way. I have nothing to follow now. Okay. So sometimes parents go beyond limit to make their child presentable to the society. So in making the child presentable to the society, what do? They just curb the creativity of the child. So here again, Amanda's mother did the same way. So with this paragraph, you write, so many instructions coming together, failed to make any sense to Amanda. Further, there is a language. Language means without any restraints. Languid sea, a huge big sea. There is a languid emerald. Emerald is the color green. So a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me. Soul is only. Inhabitant is resident. So the girl, as I told you earlier, just because of this real world which is being so torturous to her, she wishes to be in a dreamy world, a world of imagination. And in that world of imagination, she wishes to be all alone. So that is what she says, where the sole inhabitant, the only inhabitant of that sea would be myself. And what does she say? She wishes to be a mermaid. You know what's a mermaid? half fish, half human being. So mermaid. She wishes to be that mermaid, drifting blissfully. Drifting is the slow, leisurely movement without any hurriedness or anxiety in life. Just that freedom to be relished. So that is what she says. She wishes to be a mermaid who's just drifting blissfully. Blissfully is extreme happiness which you experience. So she would be happy when she would be alone. Just imagine how much the parents have scolded her, how much trauma they have caused to the little mind of that girl, that she says that she wishes to be the sole inhabitant of that sea. Again now, did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. Now another set of instructions. Another another set of instructions, because they expect her to be disciplined in every way. Just follow the discipline, just follow the rules which are expected. Now in the third stanza, again the word Amanda and again that exclamation mark. Here it refers to the parents who are gradually losing their cool, losing their temper. With every stanza, Amanda exclamation mark has a meaning from the parents' perspective here. So here this Amanda means how parents are gradually losing their temper. Now, Amanda says, I am an orphan. Just imagine a worst feeling for me, wherein a child would desire that why am I not orphan? Just because my parents are not giving me that much of freedom of expression. Something which a child should never think of. Okay, but here this is the girl who says, I am an orphan roaming the street. This word roaming the street basically tells that she just wishes to go away, escape from this world of nagging, yelling, shouting. That what does she say? I just wish to be orphan roaming around in the streets. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. Mama probably may have expected her to wear shoes or the slippers. She says, I don't want to wear those slippers. Rather, she enjoys being bare feet. And with that bare feet, what is she doing? She is making patterns on the dust. See, I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. Hushed bare feet means probably when she was moving her feet, her mother once again expected her, don't do this. Hushed means when you make someone quiet. Shh, this is hushed. So, hushed, bare feet. And then she says, the silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. She says silence is golden because she's fed up of that shouting and yelling of her mother. She's fed up of that shouting and yelling. So she says silence is golden because she loves that silence. Freedom is sweet. Freedom is sweet because she wishes to withdraw into an imaginary world. A world away from this nagging by her mother. Now, another set of instructions now, and this time in stanza number 5, the instructions are regarding external beauty of the little girl. Parents are bothered about everything. How does the child behave? How does the child look? How does the child study? So everything. This stanza is about the external beauty. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? A teenage girl, mother expecting not to eat chocolates because mother feels that that beautiful little girl may be developing some acne on her skin. So that is why she says, don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember, you'll have acne. Probably when mother was scolding for this, scolding Amanda for this, So she may be least interested in listening to whatever mother said. जैसे मैंने आपको अभी अभी बताया कि when the set of instructions or the nagging or the finding faults by the parents is continuous, one after the other, एक के बाद एक के बाद एक के बाद एक, तो they lose the importance. फिर आप भी ऐसे हो जाते हो जिसको हम लोग हिंदी में बोलते हैं ढीठ बन गए, फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता, मम्मा तो बोलती रहती है. That is why we say parenthood is like a walk on a tightrope. You have to be very balanced in the upbringing of the child. Now, it may be that here the mother may not be wrong, but probably she has crossed that thin limit wherein she should have controlled her instructions to the child. Instructions also have to be in a set limit wherein the child is ready to accept them. So here what happens? Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? Because the girl was overlooking all her instructions. So that is what she says, look at me here. So in this paragraph, one more thing comes is that at times parents give more importance to the appearance of the child rather than thinking about that this constant nagging may take away their innocence forever. Okay, so here the same thing happened. The girl also feels suffocated in this real world. Now, she says, I am a Rapunzel. Rapunzel was, what was Rapunzel? You may have heard about it in the fairy tales. A very beautiful girl with long golden hair. This Rapunzel was caught by a witch, and the witch placed her in a tall tower. The girl was kept there, trapped there. And this witch used to constantly visit Rapunzel with the help of her long golden hair. From the tall tower, she used to let her hair down, and the witch used to come up holding her hair. So the girl also says that I am a Rapunzel, means leave me in a tall tower where I live all alone. I would love to be alone there. I have not a care. I don't care for relations. I don't bother what people would think about me and whether anyone comes to meet me or not. I would love to be all alone there. Life in a tower would be tranquil and rare. Tranquil is the loneliness which you enjoy, the solitude which you love, that is tranquil. So life in the tower would be tranquil and rare. Basically, she says that I would love to be alone there where nobody comes there. But then one thing she is very sure of. She wishes to be the girl who is kept in a tower separately. But then she also says that I wouldn't let my hair down, just like Rapunzel did, no? Rapunzel तो अपने golden hair को witch को use करने देती थी ऊपर आने के लिए. But she says I would be put in a tall tower, but I would not let my golden hair down, so that she doesn't want anyone to come and meet her at all. Nobody comes there. So with this line you may write there, she is satisfied and loves to be lonely. She is satisfied and loves to be lonely, comma, seeks peace there, and wants none to visit her. Wants none to visit her. In the bracket mention, the inhuman behavior of her parents, the inhuman behavior of her parents made her against any form of human connection. Made her against any form of human connection. कोई भी नहीं चाहिए. She says she would love to be all alone. None should come and visit her at all. Now, stop that sulking at once, Amanda. Sulking is being upset. Now the girl, if she is quiet, then mama scolds. If she is not listening, then mama scolds. She is behaving in an upset way, not interested in listening to what mama says, then again mama scolds. So now here once mama says, stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You're always so moody, Amanda. Mama says you're moody. Moody? Why does mama say she was moody? Because she was not interested in listening to her mother's instructions. So where it's written no moody, there you write, Amanda wants to escape. Amanda wants to escape from this sorry reality, comma, so being uninterested is the only defense which she possesses. Is the only defense she possesses. And for that sake, she escaped. And for that sake, she escaped into the world of her own imaginations. Into the world of her own imaginations. So she used to be moody. And now once again what she says, anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. Mama had been nagging her. And she says, don't behave that way because anyone would think that I'm nagging you. Now this again is a problem. This again is a problem. Many times parents are very concerned about what people think about me, that I'm not a good mother. So that is what mother says. What would they say? What would people say about me? That I'm nagging you, and because of my nagging, you are behaving in such a way. So don't behave in such a way. Okay, so here, how many times does it happen that parents are worried about their own image in the society? Parents are worried about their own image in the society, their own presentability in the society, that what will society think if the child remains lost, if the child remains quiet. So what would they think about their upbringing now? So Amanda's parents also wish to prove to the people that we are responsible parents. And we are upbringing you very nicely. So when we are such responsible parents, you should not behave in such a moody way. You should not look like as if you are always lost. But here, the bitter truth was this only, that the way they kept on nagging, their instructions had lost their importance to the little girl. To that an extent that the little girl, what does she say? That I wish to be an orphan. She loves to be in imaginary world to that an extent that she says that I want to be a mermaid, I want to be a Rapunzel, just because she cannot entertain any kind of interference by anyone in her life. This is the poem all about. Okay, now I'm telling you some poetic devices, kindly mark them. There is metaphor in stanza 4, line number 1, I am an orphan. Line number 3, the silence is golden. Okay, now alliteration and all you can find on your own. Then there is allusion in the poem. Allusion. Children, I request you that I have made 2 videos of class 9th wherein I explained the poetic devices. Okay, So you also listen to all those poetic, around 22 to 23 poetic devices I discussed in those videos. 2 videos, poetic devices part 1, poetic devices part 2. But they are in the class 9th channel. So you please have a look at once. Here allusion means that in the poem, when the poet is referring to any of the literary or historical or a mythological character in the poem, if the poet is talking about any of the literary, mythological or a historical character, that is allusion. And here in the poem, there is an allusion twice. When he talks about the mermaid, when he talks about Rapunzel, because both these characters are of the fairy tales. So, allusion over here. And the next is the rhyme scheme. Kindly note down somewhere what is the rhyme scheme of the poem. It's A, A, B, A, then C, 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 then A, A, D, A, E, 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 A, F, A, G, 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 then A, H, A. These are this is the rhyme scheme of the poem Amanda. Now the small poetic devices, like I told, alliteration and other things, you should be able to mark on your own. Fine. Now tomorrow we shall do the next chapter.